the fifth generation of the Brotte winery, of the Brotte family. It's a family-owned winery that has been created by my great-grandfather a long time ago. And we've been working with the Opici family for a long time. My father, when he was 25, he has been sent to the US to Mr. Hubert Opici house to spend 1 year to learn how to speak English and how to do wine business in the US. So I wrote on the presentation that our partnership starts decades ago because I was not able to find the real date. I was looking after some invoice paper, and I found some dating back to the 70s. So we've been working together for a long time. We are a family-owned winery. We are based in the south on the Rhone Valley. We are based in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. We own 3 estates in the south of the Rhone Valley, so we know very well this region. We know very well the different region. And today I'm really happy to be able to extend the range La Griveliere. So we've been working with the Côtes-du-Rhône for a long time, and we are very lucky to add some Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Gigondas, and Vaqueras to this range. La Griveliere, it's the name of a bird that we can find very often in the region. In the vineyards, and when this bird came to the vineyard, it means that's the beginning of the growing season. And the labels, they are signed by Rémy Vincent. Rémy Vincent was the winemaker who started the winery with my great-grandfather in 1931. I would like to focus on our wine region, on the Rhone Valley. So the Rhone Valley is, of course, in France. So this is our country. So this is France. It's much more bigger than the US, and much more smaller, sorry, than the US. And the Rhone Valley, this is this small red quarter there in the southeast of France. It's a region which is about 200 kilometers long, from Vienne in the north to Avignon in the south. And we can divide this region into 2 sub-regions. So there is the northern Rhone Valley, going from Vienne in the north, to Montélimar in the south. In this region, in this sub-region, we only have cru of the Rhone Valley. So I'm going to explain later the classification of our AOCs. But just for you to know, in the northern Rhone, we only have cru. We don't produce any Côtes-du-Rhône there. And then we have the southern Rhone Valley, going from Montélimar in the north to Avignon in the south. So this is where we are based. This is where we have experience. We are based in Châteauneuf-du-Pape there. And this is in the southern Rhone Valley that we produce the Côtes-du-Rhône AOCs. And this is also where we produce, of course, Châteauneuf-du-Pape and Vaqueras and Gigondas that we are going to taste today. Something very important in all the Rhone Valley is that we have a very strong wind, which is called the Mistral wind, which is coming from the middle of France, and which is going all through the Rhone Valley. So it's a strong wind. It's terrible for us that work in the vineyard, but it's great for the vines and for the grapes because it's dry everything, and it avoid diseases for the grapes and for the leaves also. We have a very long history when it comes to wine. So the first that were making wine in the Rhone Valley were the Romans, but the increase, the development of the wine business, of the wine production in the Rhone Valley is back in the 50s. And something more precise. So this is the river This is the Rhone River, the blue line there, and we call it Rhone Valley because uh, from both sides of the river, we very often have some hills. This is why it's called the Rhone Valley. Some explanation about the classification of our AOCs. So it's very easy to understand. It's easier than the classification of Bordeaux or Burgundy. So you have to see it like a pyramid, like you have in the screen. So at the bottom of the pyramid, you have the classic AOC appellation. This is the largest area of production. This AOC produced the largest volume, and we have like very gentle rules to produce wine from Côte du Rhône AOC. It means that you can use the machine. You have like a high yield also. And then in the middle, and this is the more accessible AOC in terms of pricing. Then in the middle of the pyramid, you have the Côte du Rhône villages. So in the Rhône Valley, you can put the name of the label of the village on the label only for 20 different villages. So those villages are smaller area of production with more restrictive rules than the Côte du Rhône AOCs. And then at the top of the pyramid, you have the cru of the Rhône Valley. So there is 17 cru, 8 in the north and 9 in the south. And you selected the best one in the size, the most famous one, the one that people knows. So there is, of course, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, but also Vaqueras and Gigondas. And so those AOC have more restrictive rules than the village one. So the Rhône Valley is about 75,000 hectares. We use 27 different grapes. Last year, the Rhône Valley produced about 329 million bottles, and there is 31 different AOCs in our region. If we compare Northern Rhône and Southern Rhône, because this is something that people very often use, in the Northern Rhône, you have a lot of coteaux, a lot of vineyard on the hills. The main grape in this area is the Syrah grape. This is not the main. This is the only red grape in the Northern Rhône Valley. Why? Because in this area we have cooler temperature, we have more rain, and so those conditions are good for the Syrah. And when it comes to the white, the only white grapes are Viognier, Marsanne, and Roussanne. In terms of production, this is a smaller area than the Southern Rhône. The Southern Rhône is more flat, but we have poor soils with a lot of rocky area and also some sandy terroir. The king grape there is the Grenache grape because it's drier, because we have a warmer summer and we have very cold winter. But we do also use in the Southern Rhône some Syrah and some Mourvèdre. And when it comes to the white, the main grapes are Clairette, white Grenache, and we do also use Viognier, Roussanne, and Marsanne. A bit of history about our family. So everything started in 1880 when both of my great grandfathers started to grow vines. So they started to grow vines in 1880, when at this time there were no any AOCs. So they were just growing grapes. One started to grow vines in Keran from my mother's side, and the other one started to grow vines in Châteauneuf-du-Pape from my father's side. They didn't last too long in this business. They were not too good. The real date of creation of the Brotte winery is 1937, 1931. Sorry, this is when my great grandfather, Charles Brotte, he was a guy from. He was not from the area. He was from another region in France. But he fell in love with my great grandmother Jeanne. So he decided to move to Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and he started to work in a winery. And he saw very early the potential of the wine from the region. So he quit the winery, and he started its own business in 1931. So this is the date of creation of the winery. And at this time, he was one of the first to try to sell his wine into bottle. When all the other wineries, they were selling wine into barrel to Bordeaux and Burgundy negociants. And to those people, then they were bottling the wine and selling the wine into bottle with their own brand. So it was like a pioneer in the bottling in the Rhone Valley. Then in 1970, my grandfather Jean-Pierre, who is still alive, he's 91 years old. He took over the winery, and he really developed our business and our distribution around the world. So at this time, everybody was focusing on the domestic and on the European markets, but he was one of the first to try to go to faraway export markets, to try to go to Japan, to try to go to Canada, to try to go to Africa to promote and sell his wine. And he's the one who met Mr. Hubert Opici. And he started from this meeting to sell wine in the US. Then in 2001, this is my father and my mother, Laurent, who took over the winery, and they really changed the strategy of the winery. So before them, the winery was producing volume and entry-level wines. So they decided to change that and to focus on premium wines. They invested a lot into new machines in the vineyard, new vineyards, new bottling, new winery to increase the quality of the wine. And today we can measure the quality of our wines with the ratings that we have from the American press. Every vintage, we have about 10 wines that are rated over 90 points by the Wine Spectator, Wine Enthusiast, or Wine in Spirits. And this is something that we didn't have before. They work on the quality. And I recently joined the winery with my brother Benoit. So I am more dedicated to sales and marketing, and he's focusing on the production side. So I work with my father on the sales, on the business side, and my brother Benoit is managed by my mother Christine, who is the manager of the production. It means the vineyards, the aging, the blending, and the bottling. And so this is still family owned. We are working in family every day, and we even have my great grandfather. We even have my grandfather Jean-Pierre, who is coming at the winery almost every day to see what's going on. Okay, so now let's taste the wines. So this is the range that is carried now by the Opici family. So I said you are familiar with the Côte du Rhône, and I would like to introduce you again the Côte du Rhône, but also the new ones, the Vaqueras, the Gigondas, and the Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So first of all, the Côte du Rhône. So as I said, the Côte du Rhône It's the largest AOC. It's the largest production area of all the Rhône Valley. It's produced only in the southern Rhône, so you don't have any Côte du Rhône in the northern Rhône. It's produced over 171 villages. That was one of the world's first wine growing region, and a long time ago, 125 before Jesus Christ, the Romans they created a city in Vienne. So they were the first that were growing vines and making wines in the Rhone Valley. So that's this city was located close to Vienne, and they built around the city walls to protect their vineyards. Later, in 1737, there is a royal decree that stipulated that all the barrels destined to sales and transport must be branded CDR, and CDR means Côte du Rhône. And if we translate it, it means coast of the Rhône, coast of the Rhône River, because the vineyards they were located, as I said, very close to the Rhône River, and it became an AOC in 1937, just after Châteauneuf-du-Pape, who was the first AOC ever created in 1936. Okay, so let's taste it. You will see, as we are based in the Rhône Valley, all of our wines are mainly from Grenache. So this is the base of all of our blends. Sorry, and we very often, like for this Côte du Rhône, blend the Grenache with some Syrah and Mourvèdre and Carignan. So the Grenache bring the freshness and the roundness and the fruitiness, and we add some Syrah to bring some spiciness, to bring some tannins, to get also like a darker color. And the Mourvèdre and the Carignan are more for the structure of the wines. So we are not certified organic. I don't know if it's trendy in the US, but in France, this is very, very trendy. But we made a choice to not be certified. So this is a classic vine growing, but we are very close to the organic vine growing. We don't use any more chemicals for the soils, only machines. We do a very classic winemaking process. So we use concrete tank to do the fermentation and the maceration. We do what we call pump over every day in order to gently extract the aromas, the color, and the tannins. And for our aging, and it will be the same for all of our red Côte du Rhône based on the Grenache grapes. The Grenache doesn't like too much the oak. So what we do for the aging is we use a big oak cask and very old one. So a cask, it's a big barrels. Big barrel, sorry, it's from 4,000 to 6,000 liter. When the classic barrel is 225 liter. We do that because we don't want to have too much contact between the oak and the wine. We don't want to mask the aroma of the Grenache, and we use those, and those casks are very old. Some of them are century old. They have been bought by my great grandfather, and before that they were used for beer. So they don't bring any more oaky flavors, but they bring roundness, they bring smoothness, and we use them for the micro oxygenation. So let's taste. So it's a very good representation of what is a Côte du Rhône.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, or you can wait till the end, however you want. But any feedback?
No, you can ask question, of course. So, do I wait for question now, or we do them at the end?
Well,
Somebody
quick question. I was going to say, you changed the style of the wine a few vintages back. Was that like intentional because we're such a changing society? I mean, worldwide, or was it really just to find the best vines and the best wine that you could make?
Sorry, can you? I didn't hear the beginning of the question. Can you?
Sorry, you had changed the I guess the varietal structure of the wine. It's been what, a few years now?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Your question is about when I said that my father they changed the strategy of the winery by focusing on premium wine and stopping like entry-level wine. Is it your question?
And no, I was saying, why
No.
did you change the structure of the Côte de Rhône especially?
Oh, because we changed the structure of the Côte du Rhône, but it was like some years ago because we in the past we were producing like a Côte du Rhône which was more powerful with more oak. And this is not the style of wine that we like, that we love. We like Grenache with more freshness, with more fruitiness, and I think it's more matching the demand of nowadays.
Okay, thank you. That was
okay. So yeah, in the past we did like longer maceration. We do use more. We did use in the past more oak, but that was not the good. I think that was not the good representation of our Southern Rhone Valley Grenache. We like today to make it more fresh, more easy drinking. Okay, so did everybody taste the one? So yeah, it's fresh. It's full of fruit. You have like
Yep. Megan put it well. It's one of those, it never disappoints. It's just really easy drinking. I think a true representation of the region.
Okay.
It as some would say, it doesn't suck. So
it doesn't suck. Okay.
it's a technical term we use here in the US sometimes.
No, I've had a lot of success with this wine, and it's mainly because the wine is balanced. It's approachable. It's exactly what we would expect, and the price point is more than fair, and always has been. So that's why I've had such great success with it. Is, you know, smart markets around universities, and colleges, things like that is a great place to put this wine because it's affordable and it's kind of a region to explore for a wine geek at an affordable price.
Good.
Well said. All right. Well, yes, I just put a note in the chat. If anybody feel free to type questions in as well, and we can always get to them at the end. So if you want, we can go on to the next wine, the Vacqueyras.
Okay, so Vacqueyras is a bit it's located in the southeast part of the Southern Rhone Valley. It's very close to Gigondas, and I like to do the comparison with the Gigondas, which is the next one. So we are based here in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, so we bring all the grapes to the winery in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, where all the winemaking and the aging is done. If you compare Vacqueyras to Gigondas, which is the next one, Vacqueyras is more on the plain. with the
The
flat.
presentation isn't showing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Thibault, did you stop sharing? Because if
No, I
I
did
can
not,
always-
but okay.
maybe unshare and then reshare. There
Okay.
we go. We're
That's
back.
what I did. Okay.
Perfect.
So yeah,
Sorry about
if you
that.
compare Vaqueras and Gigondas, the next one, Vaqueras is more on the plain, and Gigondas is more on the hillside. Vaqueras was part of the Coduron village area since 1937. Of the Coduron since 1937, and then in 1955 it became a Coduron village, and then as from 1990 it became one of the cru of the Rhone Valley. So it's also a Grenache based wine. We add some Syrah, so there's 90% of Grenache and 10% of Syrah. You will see it's more complex. There is more structure than the first one. We do also a classic winemaking process with a high temperature fermentation, and then with the maceration with the technique of pump over every day. And also for the aging, as I said, we use classic oak cask for the Grenache and the barrel for the Syrah, because the Syrah it's much more tannic. So we need to softer the tannins with the oak. Something important when a promise, a goal that we try to achieve with our rates is to always provide wines, red wines, which are ready to drink once you buy it. So this Vaqueras is from 2019. So it's very good to drink now. You can keep it in your cellar, but it's drinkable now. If you compare to other Vaqueras on the market, I'm sure you already have a lot of 2021 and maybe 2022 on the shelf. So this is one of our promise, one of our goal is to age the wine at the winery before releasing them to the market. Yeah, it's fresh. You have a lot of red fruit aromas, some cherries, some pepper, spices. Yeah, it's round. There is a lot of juice. Tannins are well integrated. There is a long finish. Okay, let's compare it to Gigondas. Oh, and we had like a 89 points from the Wine Spectator. We just had the rating a few days ago. And then Gigondas. So Gigondas is it's now the competitor of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. It's also located like 30 minutes north of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and Gigondas is facing a small mountain chain, very small one, which is made of a lot of limestones, and we can find those limestones on the soils of many plots in Gigondas. Gigondas was also a Côte-du-Rhône village, and then it has been awarded as a cru of the Rhône Valley in 1971. That's a blend of 80% of Grenache and 20% of Syrah. It's not mandatory, but we do the harvest by hand in Gigondas because our plot are located on the not on the highest, but on one of the highest plot of the Gigondas AOC at about 120 meters elevation. And so this, you can see this elevation brings more freshness than the Vaqueras.
Megan, did you have a question? If so, you can feel free to unmute.
Oh, I think I was trying to applaud the award.
Sorry?
All right, well, we'll take that.
Yeah,
Just
right. I was
hands in
trying to
the
give
air.
a
All right.
clap sign for the 89 points.
All right, well, I'm taking your hand up. Then.
Malfunction.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
No, but I'm noticing a dramatic difference between the Vaquera and the Gigondas for sure.
Absolutely.
Especially on the nose up front. There's a lot more barnyard action happening in the Gigondas.
Yeah.
I'm drinking 21 Gigondas, yes, and we're having 19 Vaquera.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, it's more. I think it's more juicy. You have more like fresh red fruit. Tannins are a bit young, but they will be softer like in a few months. Yeah, there is a long finish.
As far as vintages go, Thibault, what with regards to 19 versus 21, was there a significant difference in the Rhone Valley, or are they sort of comparable?
Yeah, 2021 was a tough vintage because everything was good until the harvest. I mean, we got some rain at the right time in May and in June. So everything was perfect, but we got some rain during the harvest. So that's why Gigondas, that's why 2021 is a bit, how can I say, it's not a classic style of the Rhone Valley because it's lighter in terms of alcohol because we had to harvest a bit earlier because of the rain, and sometimes we had to harvest some grapes with some rain on it. This is why 2021 is like it's a light vintage of the Rhone Valley. And 2020 and 2019, sorry, was an amazing vintage, one of the best during the last 12 or 15 years. Very hot summer with some rain just before the harvest. We were lacking rain, and the rain that happened at the end of August was like amazing for the vines because they started to grow again, and they gave energy to the grapes again, and they able us to harvest grapes at the perfect maturity. And those, I remember those different rains at the end of August. They were followed by some mistral wind, which, as I explained, dried everything. So it avoid us to have diseases, to have moistures on the grape. And I think, yeah, we had a good rating with this one that was rated 90 points by the Wine Spectator. Please feel free to ask any question because when it comes to my vocabulary is not very good in English with specific terms, so I will be very happy to answer your questions.
Your English is more than fine, trust me. It's better than my French.
And so the last one is the Châteauneuf-du-Pape from 2019 vintage. So Châteauneuf-du-Pape, it's a very particular appellation because when I said that the cru have very important and very restrictive rules. This is not the case of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Châteauneuf-du-Pape was the first AOC ever created in 1936. So that was the first time that people wrote rules on how to produce. So in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, we can do many things. We are allowed to use up to 13 different grapes. And for example, we can do 100% Syrah or 100% Mourvèdre or 100% Cinsault in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So this is one of the particularity of this appellation. This appellation has been very famous when the Pope moved the headquarters from Rome to Avignon, because it was easier to go and to leave Avignon because of the Rhone River. And one of the Pope, Jean 22, decided to build his vacation home into Châteauneuf-du-Pape, which is 20 minutes about from Avignon, and he's the one who started to grow grapes there. And this one, it's a good representation of what is a Châteauneuf-du-Pape, because Châteauneuf-du-Pape, it's like big, even if it's one of the cru of the Rhone Valley. It's about 3,020 acres, so it's a large area of production in which you can find 4 main soils. So there is the pebbles soils, for which Châteauneuf-du-Pape is very famous, but there is also the limestone soils, the clay soils, and the sandy soils. And this Châteauneuf-du-Pape La Griveliere is a combination of those 4 main soils. So it's a good representation of what is Châteauneuf-du-Pape. It's also mainly from Grenache, with a bit of Syrah and Mourvèdre, and we add in this blend some Cinsault and some Counoise, which are very old grapes. Everything is harvested by hand. It's mandatory in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. That's the only one AOC in the Rhone Valley where it's mandatory. And then, yeah, about the aging, it's again the same kind of aging, with the oak cask for the Grenache and classic barrels for the Syrah. Yeah, it's very intense, very profound. Yeah, we have some black fruit, some red wild fruit. We do have some garrigue, which is typical from the area. We have some jammy red fruit, notes of like undergrowth.
The Chateauneuf's delicious. I just remarked that Chateauneuf is delicious.
And this is from, again, very good vintage from 2019.
Thibault, this is Stefano. I have a question regarding, for those that may not know, can you explain the stamp on the bottle, the embossing of the keys?
Yes, so this is not mandatory, but this is what many producers in Châteauneuf-du-Pape use. And so there is 2 keys in the middle, which are the keys of the castle of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. And in the middle, so I don't know the word in English, but this is like the hat that was used by the Pope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we had a good rating on this 91 point by the Wine Spectator. So I've been really fast on this tasting. So please feel free to ask if you have any question. If you have to remember some key points about this La Griveliere range, that's a range which is made by a family of vine grower, of winemaker based in the south, in the earth of the Rhône Valley, in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. We've been making wine since 1880. We know very well the Rhône Valley. You have there the main AOC of the Rhône Valley. So you have the Côte du Rhône, which is not possible to not have it in a Rhône Valley range. And then you have the three main cru of the southern Rhône Valley, of course, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Vacqueyras, and Gigondas. As I said, Gigondas is becoming like the first competitor of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. It's a very good value if we compare it to Châteauneuf-du-Pape. And from my vision of the wine business, we have very good prices. I mean, not us also, but the Rhône Valley have good prices for the quality that we deliver if we compare us to other wine regions such as Bordeaux or Burgundy. Okay.
Does anybody have any other questions? Stefano, I saw your note asking about whether or not Thibault would be available in the US. He's actually sales, but he's based in Asia and France. But there was a mention of somebody that is stateside. I'm not sure, Thibault, if you could speak further to that, if that's somebody that could potentially be available to us. I know I have a meeting with your father in about a month, so I could ask him as well. But
yeah, so
with
my father will be in the US next month, but we have what we call a brand ambassador. He is based in France, but he can travel to the US. I mean, he's there for that. So you can have him on the road for tastings, for meetings. And I also can help him, so I can come to visit you and to do some tastings and meeting.
Yeah, we'd love to have you for sure. So if you ever want to come to the States and hang out, we'll keep you busy for a couple of weeks.
Good.
Anybody else have any other questions? Thoughts?
Thank you.
Feedback?
Thank you for your time. It's nice
Oh,
to
you're
taste
welcome.
the
Thank
wines.
you for-
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of
you.
success with the Côte d'Aron, so I'm really excited about the Châteauneuf and the Gigondas for sure. Those will have a lot of success.
Good. Thank you. I hope so.
One other thing just worth noting that was mentioned at the beginning of the call before everybody got on, some of these vintages will begin to roll sooner rather than later. We still have a good amount of inventory here, but they will be sending us fresh vintages to sample and get out to trade publications as well, so we could potentially get some scores ahead of them being released here. More to follow on that, but I think you all can agree that these are pretty solid wines, and now there's even more information of a cool story to tell to our distributor partners and accounts across the country.
What is the interpretation of, I guess before we were labeling it Brotte, right? And we all know there's a few other Brottes in the market through negotiations. So now we're Le Griveliere, and I think the ratings and the scores are gonna do nothing but help, but we really do have to treat this as if we're launching a new brand entirely with its name and brand recognition.
For sure. Can't argue with
Okay.
that. I know in your market especially, you had some run-ins with the name Brotte, so
So
The
where,
fact
where
that
are you based?
she's in the Northeast. She's in Massachusetts area.
Okay.
I just want to add the wines show really well. I think it's exciting for us to start selling French wine, right? It's a new venture for all of us. So I know we tasted through the lineup last year. We selected these three in addition to the Côte d'Aron. I think it's a nice representation of the brand and should be a nice fit in the national marketplace. So thank you, Thibault, for your time.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Good. Thibault, this is Craig in California covering the West, and this was a fantastic presentation. We're very well paced, very well prepared. So thank you for all the basic information as well as some of the little nuggets, as we'll call them, of information as well that really enhance our ability to tell the story to the trade and to our distributors. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Merci.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll say you can all go about your day. Thibault, you can go relax and go to bed soon. Thank you again for staying up a little bit later, or working a little bit later anyway, and presenting these wines. And I'm sure we'll be in touch, and we'll work on getting you out here and selling some of your namesake wine, even though it's technically not your name on it, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me to introduce these wines. And once again, I'm really happy that we've been able to extend the range. The volume of the Côte d'Aron was good, and now I'm sure we can do better with the other wines. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for organizing this, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Very
thank
good.
you very
No
much.
problem.
Thank you.
Thibault, thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
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 Thanks again. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
See you guys.